Hey, it's Ron, and I want to tell you a story about business and how that story changed everything. It's barely sunrise when he pulls into the parking lot on the side of his shop. It's that quiet kind of muted morning light that makes everything look really kind of quieter than it really is. He unlocks the side door of his shop, rolls up the metal shutters, and breathes in that familiar scent of cardboard, cleaner, and old wood. He's opened this store thousands of times, but today he finds his hands are moving a little slower. See, here's the thing. About a mile down the street, there's a new building that's glowing even in the dim light. The sign has been finished for weeks, and the parking lot was repaved last month. And ever since the chain hung the big, bright, grand opening banners on the front doors, the town's acted like it's some big circus coming. He's seen the curious cars cruising through that parking lot after hours. He's watched delivery trucks unload pallets of inventory he could never afford to stock. He's heard customers talk about opening day specials that he cannot begin to match. So what is today? Today is their first big day. And even at this hour, a few cars are already probably idling in the parking lot. Not many, but enough to remind him that he's about to compete with a company that arrives fully armed. In his own shop, he turns on his lights and stands behind the counter, looking out the window as the sky brightens. He knows what's coming. Competition never arrives quietly, and it never arrives politely. It arrives most of the time with scale, with money, with brand recognition, and with momentum. So what protects a business when a giant lands right down the street? What keeps one company standing while another gets crushed? What advantage is strong enough to resist a newcomer with deeper pockets? And why does that question matter again on January 22nd, 2026? From Business Basics, I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the daily podcast where we explain the stories that changed business forever. Every date has a story where business reshaped the world. Today, January 22nd, that story takes us to a lesson that has shaped thousands of moments across every industry. Today, we're not looking at a single moment, we're looking at the business idea that shaped 1,000 of them. Now, that gentleman didn't build his story to fend off giants. He built it to serve the people who lived around him, people he already knew from school events, from Friday nights at the football field, from years of small talk that slowly turned into trust. For most of his life, business felt local and predictable. Problems arrived one customer at a time, not one corporation at a time. But the truth that he's facing this morning is a truth every business runs into eventually. Competition is not an event that shows up on a calendar. It doesn't wait for a milestone or a headline. It happens quietly, every day, in towns just like this one, to owners just like him. And while he is one man unlocking one door on one morning, his situation is anything but unique. He's standing in the same shoes thousands of business owners stand in when a newcomer, a lot of the time with deeper pockets, rolls into the situation. The signs started quite a while back. Survey crews were measuring the lot. Construction equipment rolled in at sunrise, a rumor spreading that a national chain was coming, followed by the kind of corporate efficiency that makes rumors real. He watched the building take shape. He watched the banners go up, and he listened as customers talked about opening day deals with the kind of excitement that never favors the smaller stores. He knows what the new store has that he doesn't: money, marketing, leverage, selection. But standing behind his counter now, he also realizes something else. Every business, big or small, survives on one thing: the strength of the defenses it built long before moments like this arrive. Call them advantages, call them edges. Economists call them moats. Yeah, like around the castle. A moat. And here's the thing. Those moats, They determine who stays standing when the competition shows up on the other side of the glass. The situation he's facing is familiar, but the lesson behind it reaches far beyond one store or one industry. Every business, from the smallest shop to the largest multinational, survives or collapses on the strength of the same idea. What makes it hard for a competitor to take your customers? That question is where the economic moats begin. See, a moat isn't a single thing. It's a category of defenses, and many owners don't realize they have one until it fails. Some moats are structural, like patents, or secret recipes, or proprietary designs, or tightly controlled supply chains that no competitor can easily copy. Some are behavioral, built on customer habits that quietly reinforce loyalty day after day. And some are what we call experiential, shaped by trust, familiarity, or a service style that's nearly impossible for a competitor to imitate. Other moats may come from scale itself. Companies with massive purchasing power can negotiate lower costs, reduce prices, or dominate distribution. Network effects create another kind of moat, where the product becomes more valuable as more people use it, making the next competitor's job nearly impossible. And switching cost form yet another defense, the kind that makes customers hesitate to move because changing providers feels complicated or inconvenient or risky. The key is that no business relies on just one. Strong companies do what we call stacking their moats, the way strong cities once stacked walls, or those castles stacked barriers. They create layers of advantage, some of them visible, some of them invisible, all working together to make the organization harder to unseat. Understanding moats is not about predicting a competitor's next move. It's about understanding your own vulnerabilities and the strengths you may not be fully using. And in business, discovering that can shift the entire direction of a company.
Obtén tu diploma de secundaria por ti y por tu familia. Visita completatudiploma.org para encontrar centros educativos gratuitos cerca de ti. Presentado por Dollar General Literacy Foundation y The Ad Council.
The companies that understand their moats tend to make smarter decisions long before a competitor shows up. They invest in the defenses that actually matter, not the ones that just look good in an annual report. They reinforce the advantages that keep customers loyal, and they avoid the mistake that quietly destroys so many businesses, which is assuming that what worked yesterday will keep working tomorrow. Now, moats fail for predictable reasons. Technology shifts, customer behavior changes, a newcomer invents a shortcut no one saw coming, or the moat simply erodes because the company stopped tending to it. No moat is permanent. Every moat requires maintenance, attention, and clarity about what truly makes the business defensible. But when companies get their moats right, the results speak for themselves. Some build switching costs so strong that customers barely consider alternatives. Others earn brand loyalty that discounts cannot buy. And network-based companies create systems where the value grows faster than any competitor can catch. That's why understanding the concept of moats matters. Every leader in every industry eventually faces the same pressure. What can you protect that a competitor cannot easily copy? And once you know that answer, how aggressively are you reinforcing it? Which brings us back to the shop owner unlocking his door before the sunrise. He's not a symbol of small business nostalgia. he's a reminder that competition is not theoretical. It arrives on real streets in real towns, affecting real people who have to decide what they are truly competing with and what they have that's worth defending. And on January 22nd, 2026, the lesson that matters is actually pretty simple. Businesses survive not because they are the biggest, but because they understand the moat that keeps them standing when pressure finally arrives. I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the podcast that finds the turning points behind the headlines. To hear more stories like this, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And if you're enjoying the stories, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a quick review. It helps more people find the story behind the business. And if you want to actually understand business without the fluff, the buzzwords, or the MBA language, start by visiting bsnsdailypodcast.com.
We all crave something new. At Hertz, new is what we're all about. New adventures, new experiences. When you book with us, you'll be cruising in our newest fleet yet. New features, new tech, and of course, that new car smell. All that wonderful newness, all with no strings attached. So go on, book your new car fling at Hertz.com. Your old car at home never has to know.